These mansions were once beacons of wealth and grandeur, but now they stand empty, hiding secrets so dark they'd make anyone think twice before stepping inside. From gruesome murders to ghostly legends, these homes have stories that linger like shadows. Stick around as we uncover 10 abandoned mansions with backstories so chilling you'll be checking over your shoulder by the end. Welcome to Property Files. Let's get into it. First, let's step into the Lucy Murder House in Uniontown, Alabama. Valued at roughly $150,000 today, this Greek Revival mansion looks like it's being devoured by the earth itself. In January 1994, the remains of 13-year-old Alan Lucy were discovered buried beneath the front porch. Alan, who lived here with his adoptive parents, Philip and Margaret Lucy, vanished without a trace in 1985. Whispers of foul play swirled for years, fueled by the family's own son, Jason, who claimed his father was responsible. When Philip was finally convicted, the house was left to rot, abandoned not just by its owners, but by a town grappling with environmental decay and injustice. Locals swear the air feels heavy here, as if Alan's story still haunts the crumbling walls. Could you sleep soundly in a place like this? But what about a Scottish castle where the walls witnessed chaos? Lennox Castle, built in 1812 near Glasgow, was once home to the noble Kincaid family and worth an estimated $2 million in its prime. By the 1930s, it was transformed into an asylum for the mentally ill, and during World War II, it served as a hospital. But things took a dark turn when a violent patient riot broke out in the 1940s. Fights were so brutal that staff fled, locking the rioters inside, leaving the ward in ruins. The castle was abandoned by the 1980s and officially closed in 2002. Today, its broken windows and decaying halls are all that remain, though some claim the echoes of those chaotic nights still linger. Would you dare walk its corridors alone? Now, let's talk about a Gilded Age titan that even wealth couldn't save. Lynwood Hall in Pennsylvania, once valued at a staggering $98 million in today's dollars, is the 12th largest historic house in the U.S., Built in 1900 for businessman Peter Widener, this 110-room neoclassical masterpiece housed a ballroom for 1,000 guests and one of the country's most valuable private art collections. Widener's family tragedy struck when one son died on the Titanic, and by 1943, no heirs wanted the burden of maintaining it. A fundamentalist preacher bought it for just $192,000 in 1952, but it fell into foreclosure by 2006. Now its grand halls crumble, a ghost of its former glory. How does a palace this magnificent end up forgotten? What happens when a mansion's tragedies begin with its own creator? Elda Castle in Ossining, New York, valued at around $3 million today, was built in 1928 by David Abercrombie, co-founder of Abercrombie and Fitch. His wife, Lucy, designed it, naming it after their 4 children. But joy turned to sorrow when their daughter Lucy died in an accident at her father's factory, followed by Abercrombie's own death from rheumatic fever in the home. Lucy Sr. moved out, and the castle, designed to partly resemble medieval ruins, began to live up to its appearance. Multiple owners tried to restore it, but each failed, as if the house itself resists revival. Is it cursed or just doomed by fate? Now picture a mock castle turned into something utterly bizarre. Ashler Hall in Memphis, Tennessee, worth about $1.5 million, was built in 1896 for Robert Brinkley Snowden's family. With 8 bedrooms, 6 bars, and an indoor pool, it was a symbol of luxury until Snowden's death in 1942. The family turned it into a restaurant, but by the 1990s it was bought by Robert Hodges, aka Prince Mongo, who claimed to be an alien from the planet Zambodia. He transformed it into a nightclub called The Castle, filling the parking lot with sand to create a beach after fire marshals shut down his overcrowded parties. The property has since been left to decay, bought for just $59,000 at a tax sale. Who turns a mansion into a sandbox? Imagine an island fortress struck by disaster after disaster. Bannermans Castle, valued at $5 million in its heyday, sits on a lonely island in New York's Hudson River. Built in 1900 by Francis Bannerman VI to store his military surplus business, it was a thriving warehouse until explosions in the early 20th century damaged it. A devastating storm later destroyed the ferry, cutting off access, and by the 1960s, it was abandoned. Fires ravaged it further, but the castle's shell still looms over the river, now a haunting tourist site. Some say the island itself guards its secrets. Would you cross the water to find out? What about a Taiwanese mansion tied to a tragic love story? The Liu family mansion, also called the Mingong ghost house, is worth about $800,000 today. Built in 1929 in Baroque style, it was abandoned in the 1950s when the Liu family fled. Rumor has it their maid, caught in an affair with the patriarch Liu Rongyu, jumped into a well to her death after the scandal broke. Later, soldiers from the Kuomintang of China occupied the house, and many reportedly died by suicide, fueling its haunted reputation. Others say the family simply moved for business, but the eerie silence of the overgrown estate suggests something darker. Is it heartbreak or ghosts that keep this place empty? Now let's explore a mansion that's as strange as it is abandoned. Kasperimentale in Fergane, Italy, valued at $1.2 million, is a brutalist treehouse built in the late 1960s by architect Giuseppe Perugini, his wife, and their son. Designed as a holiday home and an experiment in livable geometry, its cluster of elevated shapes feels otherworldly, accessible only by a drawbridge staircase. When Perugini died, the project was abandoned, left to crumble in the coastal forest. Was it too radical to survive, or did its isolation doom it? Deep in Missouri's Ozarks lies a castle where a dream burned to ashes. Tonka Mansion, worth $4 million at its peak, was the vision of businessman Robert Snyder, who began building it in 1906 to resemble a European castle. Tragically, Snyder died in one of Missouri's first car accidents before it was finished. His sons completed it in 1920, but one was driven off by costly land disputes. Later, it became a hotel, only to be destroyed by a fire in the mid-20th century. Its stone ruins now draw visitors, but does the name Laughing Waters hide a more sinister truth? Finally, we arrive at a Los Angeles mansion that shocked a city. The Los Feliz murder house, valued at $2.5 million today, was the scene of a horrific 1959 murder-suicide. Dr. Harold Perelson, a once successful doctor, snapped after financial ruin. He killed his wife with a ball-peen hammer, attacked his daughter, and then drank acid to end his own life. His daughter's screams saved her siblings, but the house has been a pariah ever since. Sold in 1961, it was used as storage, and every attempt to renovate it has failed, as if the tragedy still clings to its walls. Could you call a place this haunted home? These 10 mansions prove that even the grandest homes can harbor the darkest secrets. But what if you could turn abandoned properties like these into profit? The real estate market has cooled in the last couple of years. There are a lot of opportunities right now. If you're looking to build a side hustle or just looking for a career change, 7-Figure Flip has some of the best training you will ever find on house flipping. Click the link in the description to discover real estate flipping strategies the experts keep hidden. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments which mansion story creeped you out the most. Until next time, stay curious and maybe keep the lights on.